Trudy was the face of this project, and if you saw anything on the website, Trudy did that. She did interviews. She was just totally involved in this. I have a picture of Trudy over by our water, but Trudy was taken from us this past Saturday night in a horrific motorcycle accident. I can say from staff that no kinder or gentle soul have we ever known. She was the person who could take a hornet's nest and turn it into a flock of butterflies. We're going to miss her badly. I'm going to miss my friend. To Miss Valerie Reel from the Valerian Group, she's here. Thank you for filling in that gap, and we know this is difficult for you and your staff members, and Barbara, your family as well. And thank you for being here for that. And that's Barbara is Trudy's sister-in-law, who wanted to videotape this so she could show it to her sons. And her sons are with her today at a service in Tampa. But she's talked about this project so much, they wanted to know what this was about. So Barbara came to video this so she could take it back and share it with the family. So let me move on to a little brighter side now. If I could just take a moment and introduce some of our special guests today. First, I'd like to welcome Congressman Buchanan. Thank you, sir, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I did note that State Representative Gruters is here. Thank you, sir. Commissioners, we have Chair Betsy Benak, Priscilla Trace from the Parish area, and she'll let you know in a minute she's from the Parish area. Thank you. Commissioner Stephen Johnson, I've seen him. There you are. Thank you, sir. And Commissioner Carol Whitmore. And if I've missed any of the other commissioners, I'm sure they'll let me know, but I haven't seen them here. I also know that Robin D. Sabentino had a previous engagement. She wanted to be here. She sent her apologies, and so did Vanessa Baugh, who would be the district commissioner starting somewhere behind me here. She had an event she had to attend. I also noted in the audience we have Senator Pat Neal. Thank you, sir, for arriving. If I miss anybody, I apologize, but I will miss someone. I noticed Ben Jordan is in the audience, Hugh McGuire. Some of those folks helped us a great deal as we first started this project. Congressman, you and Congressman Schuster were very instrumental in helping us through the permitting process, and thank you so much for that. And we have other bridges, and we'll be reaching out for you, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I want to thank the Board of County Commissioners as a whole, past and present, for having the courage to fund this bridge, because they caught a lot of flack from some folks who thought it was a bridge to nowhere, and then those who live in north of the river took offense that they don't live in nowhere. So eventually we got the project pushed through, and we got it accomplished. I'd like to thank some folks that are not here, Miss Sugarman and Dr. Teresa Pullman with Homeland Security. We ran into that glitch, and it held us up for a bit. But once we found that team, those two individuals, they began helping us get through the permitting process, and that's an arduous process. I would also like to thank my awesome staff, our county engineer, Sia Melanazar. Sia, thank you. And his team of engineers, Mr. Bruce Hager. Where's Bruce at? There he is in the back. He spent a couple of years out here with the no-see-ums on this river, watching this get built and making sure it met specs. I also like to thank HDR, who provided engineering services for it, Mr. Peter Varnum. I think Peter's here, too. I've seen him earlier. There he is. Thank you. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Mr. Randy Overton from the Federal Permit Agency from the United States Coast Guard. He's also helping us with the 44th Avenue as we cross that bridge. Without any further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Chair Benak, if you would, ma'am. Thank you.
right. Good morning and welcome. It's good to see all of your smiling faces up here on this beautiful bridge. This is truly an historic occasion in Manatee County's history. As you heard, it took over 100 years. A century ago, the planning for this bridge began, and hopefully all of our road projects won't take 100 years. But certainly we know it takes a long time to get a major road project done. And at the time, there was public opposition, like there is to many of our other roads. But it was because folks thought that the money needed to be spent somewhere else. And it's tough. It's tough when you have limited revenues to figure out what the priorities are for funding. So that at the time, this project got derailed, and it took, as you know, now a century later, it's finally here. And because of the creation of Lakewood Ranch and the booming Parrish area, think about it, two of our most fastest growing areas in the county, this became an inevitable part of our history. And the bridge will obviously shorten commutes. I happened to notice this morning when I was driving north, the backup on I-75. So this will be a reliever route for I-75. It'll also allow parents to get to our Fort Hamer Rowing Park, which I think some of you parked back there, and you saw how much that has changed. And beautiful downtown Parrish, so much history in Parrish that the folks want to preserve, and they want to keep their community. And this will help to keep folks saying they can live in Parrish and they can commute to Lakewood Ranch. And then our boat ramp. As you know, the boat ramp has been recently approved. Charlie Hunsaker's here. He's done a great job with all of our parks. And we're excited about the Hidden Harbor Park that is going to be coming, another new regional park in the county that will have wonderful access now because of this bridge. And also, as you know, it provided a hurricane evacuation route. A lot of people were very happy to see this bridge open to provide safety for our residents. They were not so happy when it closed again. But we know that it will certainly increase response times, have direct access to the Lakewood Ranch Hospital. And I know many of you are eager to drive the new bridge. I know I am. I'm going to be driving out that way. But I think, as Ron did, we have to thank our contractors, the folks who spent so much time. I had a tour when this bridge was under construction. Trudy was here for that tour. So we really appreciate the work that people do to make people aware of what's going on up here and what's going on in our county. And of course, Ron Schulhofer, he shepherded this through all the way. He never wavered, even though when times got tough and everybody said that we couldn't build this bridge, we couldn't get it done for what we had estimated. But we came in pretty close to those estimates, so very good job. Sia Malanazar, Jeff Streetmeyer, our outstanding public works team, they managed this project and they saw it through the bureaucratic process. And we know we have to go through that. But these guys work 365 days a year, sometimes in a thankless position, but they get it done. And so I want to congratulate every one of you that worked so hard to get it done. And also, yes. Ron and Sia and Jeff, they did the job to get it done. No comments from the audience, Mr. Neal. And also, I want to thank all the commissioners who also, past and present. It sometimes takes political will to tell people that the bridge will be an asset and not a detriment to their community. And they made the difficult decision to fund this with local dollars. And I hear from a lot of people, well, why aren't there 4 lanes? Well, local dollars, impact fee money, is only available to go so far. And we'd love to have 2 more lanes, and we'll be talking to some of our partners about getting that done in the future. But I also want to thank the residents of East County who've been patiently waiting for this bridge for many, many years, the people in Parrish. And also people like Alicia Seamat, her son, Mark. He did a lot of historical research on what this bridge was about. This is an historical area, Fort Hamer, and he provided a lot of great information to Larry Bussell. I think maybe some of you remember when we had the groundbreaking, talking about the history of this area. Manatee County is rich in history, and we're so fortunate to have areas like Fort Hamer and Parrish that will never forget the history of this community. And he's now a FSU student, and he wasn't able to attend. But, of course, his mother, we like to thank her for helping us today. So we've waited 108 years, so we're ready to open this bridge to the public. So I'll turn it back over to Ron.
Thank you for those kind words, Chair. Congressman, would you please? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
I know Ron's from the South because our family's originally from Kentucky, and they call it Buchanan down there, but Michigan Buchanan, down here Buchanan. But just want to thank you and your leadership and your team. And I'll just say, what a beautiful day and a beautiful bridge. And it's a team effort. I mean, we talked about 120 some years. I didn't realize that history, but I know it's been 5 years in the making. And the senator and the commissioners and a lot of people right here today, it's all about a team effort. And I'm glad to be just a small part of that. But again, I just want to thank the commission and thank Ron. This bridge connects Parrish and Lakewood Ranch and provides a much-needed alternative to I-75. And let me just say, and many of you know this, I mean, there's people that are more pro-growth more than others, but they're going to be coming here because Manatee is a paradise. As Sarasota County, this region, so we got to make sure projects like this get done, and I'm just glad to be a small part of that. And I know our chairman of our transportation, I served on the committee for 4 years, will be down here this winter. We're going to be talking about other projects, other roads and other bridges, because we don't want to end up with gridlock. And I see more of the gridlock here, but this is going to be a gigantic asset to provide residents, not just from Parrish, but Lakewood Ranch together, where they can commute back and forth. People moving up to Tampa or St. Pete will be a big issue. It also promotes safety and provides area residents with recreational activities. I'm an active cyclist. I'm just excited to see the cycling lanes here. Charlie, thank you, because I know you had something to do with that, but also runners and joggers. And then the magnificent views that we've got out here is just unbelievable. I'm very impressed, as I said, about the cycling. And then let me just say, just quickly in closing, I just want to just people understand, I feel like I'm a cheerleader for the community. As you get out in front, projects that are important to you, I'm going to do everything I can from the federal standpoint to make sure we've got your back, and we're going to make sure you have the support financially. We're talking about I-75 and more work that needs to be done there. But even permitting here, I know the senator had asked me and others had asked me to get involved, and again, this is a team effort. But thank you. I'm very excited about this project. I know you are. It's a fabulous day and a beautiful bridge. Let's celebrate.
It's time. Congressman, would you please? Commissioners?
1, 2, 3. Yay!
Watch it out for traffic. Watch out for traffic. Drive safely, everybody.
First off, it's a beautiful bridge. The views here are spectacular. I think it's just going to take a lot of pressure off I-75. People commuting from Lakewood Ranch to Parrish, which is growing, both communities, or Parrish back to Lakewood Ranch. It's a big alternative to I-75, so it'll alleviate a lot of the problems and congestion on I-75. The other thing, I'm a cyclist. I'm very excited about the walking and cycling paths. We got a beautiful day out here today, but a lot of people are very excited about this in Manatee County.
I
You're going to have growth in Manatee County, whether you like it or not, and you got to get out in front of that, and especially as it relates to bridges and roads. And this is everybody working together in this community, making that happen. We had a chance to work with the Coast Guard. It was a team effort. It's a very exciting day for Manatee County, and I want to say the commissioners and a lot of other people were very helpful in this process. It's a team effort, but this is a type of projects we've got to get out in front of, because people are going to be coming here because it's a beautiful place. It's paradise. And I can tell you, as someone from Michigan 30 years ago, there's going to be more people, especially this time of the year, wanting to come to Manatee County. Yeah, I just think schools, the infrastructure, bridges, roads, we need to be thinking 10, 15, 30 years out in front of this. This is a great project for this community, and the timing couldn't be any better just before the snowbirds get down here for the winter. I love it. I represent Manatee and, of course, Hillsboro. I've been to their facility. It's incredible, and I think it'd be a big asset to our community. But most important, they're a great company, and it'll be good-paying jobs for people in this region. And we'd like to make sure everybody that wants a good-paying job can get a good-paying job with benefits and health care, and they take care of their employees.
Well, it only took 100 years. When this bridge was first envisioned, people knew that there needed to be a connection. Remember, Parrish is an historic village and has been around for a long time, and a lot of leaders at the time thought that this would be a great place for a bridge, but other people wanted to see other roads in the county improved. So it didn't happen, and it took quite some time to get it approved. It is built totally with local funding, and we were hoping not to have to go through the federal process. However, some folks felt that it needed to go through the NEPA process, so that got a little bit bureaucratic and took a little bit longer than we want, but finally it's here. Well, as you can see, the beauty from up here, we live in a beautiful area. People want to live here. They keep moving here. And so we have to accommodate the traffic. And Parrish and Lakewood Ranch, two of our fastest growing communities, needed to be connected. We have a lot of families that come up here to the Fort Hamer Rowing Park. We have a lot of people that like to experience beautiful downtown Lakewood Ranch. So it's a needed connection. That's correct, and we have to prioritize what's our most important. It's not cheap to build structures such as this and expand our road system, but we have great partners, and our federal partners, Vern Buchanan is here, helping us get the funding that we're going to need, as well as our state partners. Our state legislator has helped us to fund projects and get them done. Yeah, it may take some time. We understand government doesn't move fast, but there's going to be new infrastructure, and I hope everybody will at least take a drive across the bridge, even just to see it. And of course, the bike riding opportunities and the walking opportunities. It's beautiful up here.
Well, I was been the director since we started this, yes. I had a great team, and with a team, we pulled it off. But we had some permitting issues in the beginning. We could never find the right person to contact to get it done. We ran across Miss Shelley Sugarman and Dr. Teresa in Washington, D.C. that worked for Homeland Security. Once we found them and explained to them, and this was during the crash, by the way, and said, this is an opportunity to put people in our community back to work. We need to get this bridge built. We need to get through this permitting process. They were awesome. They were instrumental in helping us get through that. And then we go out for bid, and then we got the contractor, the Johnson Brothers contractor. Super group to work with, very easy. We had AECOM as our engineering services. So we pulled all that together, and it's been monitored for over 5 years. We had some issues with some folks that didn't want the bridge that caused us to do some additional studies. Went through that process, and today we're standing on the bridge, and it's going to be open for traffic in just a few hours. Two things that really drove this thing home for our Board of County Commissioners was it's an evacuation route, and we proved that during the Irma. We opened it up temporarily, and it was used extensively. The other issues that we wanted was accessibility for our neighbors on the north side of the river to a hospital. So you can leave Parrish, come across Fort Hamer Bridge. You don't have to deviate. You'll run into right Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, and you're right into Lakewood Ranch Hospital, instead of trying to get down into town where we all know we have congestions on the two bridges where the other two hospitals are located. So this is very vital to the community. You know, the wonderful part about having a good team, you just need to give them the direction you want them to go. The direction was, let's get it built soon. Everybody bought into it. I had no one thought it was a bad project. Everybody knows the benefit and value, and with that, it's just an easy initiative to move forward. Absolutely, Trudy Jarena, she was the face of this project. She's been the face of many projects. I tell people that our engineering staff, they're really good at putting their forehead up against a project and shoving it across the finish line. They're horrible, and so am I, at telling the public why that's really important to them. So Trudy did that for us. She maintained the website on this project. She maintained the website on the 44th project that we're doing, the Island Waterline. She was FDOT's PIO for the Diversion Diamond. She was very, very instrumental in keeping the public informed of how we're spending their money and the progress as we move along. That talent is going to be sorely missed. She's just a beautiful soul, and we already miss her. Yeah, we still have 44th Avenue that we're pursuing hard. We also have 45th Street. We know that's going to be a congestion area. That's why we're not opening it all the way yet. But we are through the permitting process to get across the Braden River, and then we'll cross I-75 with the bridge, and we'll connect with 44th in Lakewood Ranch. And that's a direct shot all the way to the beach from Lakewood Ranch. And that's going to be a huge driving economic factor, especially downtown near the Bradenton, the mall area, because that's where you land coming in. So we look for some good redevelopment with these projects.
They've been asking for 100 years, and it maybe took 100 years, but it's finally here. And the importance is the connection. I have many friends that live in this part of Parrish and the newer developments that live in Bradenton. This will decrease their commute time probably about an hour every day. Don't you think, Sherry?
Oh, definitely. I actually live out here. I've been waiting for this bridge for 30 years. I still think I'll go the regular way so that everybody else can go the new bridge, and it's just going to make the flow that much easier, and the ability for everyone to get through both Parrish and Lakewood Ranch is going to be fantastic.
Again, I agree with everything that's been said. Every day I've been driving Golf Course Road to Rye Road to 64. This is going to going to take approximately 20 minutes off my commute. I'd also like to point out this jewel that we have right over here to our left, the Fort Hammer Boat Ramp Park. A lot of citizens are now going to know about that beautiful asset that we have here in Manatee County.
I think our number one goal in Manatee County is to look at trying to figure out how to replace the DeSoto Bridge. That's very important. That's critical. I just talked to EMS today. They can get through over the Green Bridge. There's no problems with that. The DeSoto Bridge is an issue. So this bridge here, I just spoke to them, is going to help them a lot for the commute across to get to the urgent care facilities that they need to. But my goal, and I'm sure the board's goal, is to get that congestion, work with the cities and get the congestion taken care of. And I'm hoping that FDOT and everybody can put this in the priority like we did the Diverging Diamond and get something going on with the DeSoto Bridge or another bridge adjacent to it. It's desperately needed. It is a public safety issue.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's a new high school and middle school plan for this area, and so being ahead of that traffic and the ability for people to move back and forth. But I mean, look at this view right here. I mean, now you get to share that with the entire county, with people coming from out of town. I mean, it just makes Manatee County that much more precious.
I just want to thank the citizens of Manatee County for having faith in us and finally getting this bridge built after 100 years. And I'm very happy and proud. Private development was going to do this, and the county decided years ago that they wanted to take this on so it wouldn't have to be a toll bridge. And here we are today, so congratulations to everybody.
I think the thought process for this bridge began on May 4th, 2008. You may remember there was a tanker crash on I-75 that closed Manatee County and the bridges over Manatee County, which was a significant problem for all of us in Braden and Manatee County for about a month and a half. This bridge had been proposed in 1909 in the ruins of the old historic Fort Hamer. You might remember Fort Hamer is where they kept Billy Bowlegs during the Second Indian War. It's really an important historic spot. But this is here, and Fort Hamer was here because this is where the river narrows. The Board of County Commissioners proposed this bridge in 1909. The voters turned down the bond issues in 1912. This bridge is more than 100 years in its creation. After 2008, a group of us, led by Ben Jordan, worked hard to get this on the comprehensive plan. Carlos Baruf and I and the North County Partnership proposed to build it. Thank goodness the county didn't accept that proposal. But Ron Schulhofer of the county did build it, and now this is the day of opening, way under the initial proposed budget of $33 million.
Unbelievable. You know, I was just telling Charlie that when I was a child, we lived in Parrish, and we used to come down here to right here where the ramp is now, and there was a gentleman by the name of Metzler, and he rented boats, and he just sat there in his car, and he had about 5 old wooden boats, and he'd rent them, and you could rent one for either $1 or $2 a day, and they all leaked. So you spent half your time bailing the water out and the other time trying to fish. But it means so much. And then when I came out of law school and was looking for a place to live and build a home, raise a family, I talked to a lady that owned the property on the south approach to this bridge. And I said, would you be interested in selling? She said, well, you know, now realize this is back in around 72. She said, you realize there's talk that a bridge could come through here someday. But she said, I don't know that that'll ever happen. Well, here it is. It's a tremendous thing for me. It's a tremendous thing, I think, for Parrish. It's a tremendous thing for the North County Partnership, because this thing we worked on back when we were working on, had a group of developers who raised about $400,000 to try to speed up the 4-laning of 301 from Erie up to 675. So it's just been a tremendous effort. I mean, back then we were talking about 2 or 3 projects. This was one of them. And the 4-laning was another project, Moxonwalla, which will happen in some time. But this, the new thoroughfare that's going through, the Magic Mile we talk about, it's just, for somebody that's lived here all their life, it's very exciting. We're very pleased. It's going to be tremendous. And I think, you know, a real special thank you to Ron Schulhofer. He has just been a champion on this thing. He and Sia, and of course the Board of County Commissioners, but Ron never gave up. He never backed off, and with all the opposition we had and all the long meetings and all the accusations of all the different things, Ron held it, and boy, a lot goes to him because he did a beautiful job on this. You know, I think it goes back to something I was reading the other day that we were talking about when we were talking about the future of the county and what we all wanted to see. There were articles 20 years ago where a bunch of people were giving comments. And I think, you know, what we all want, we want a better quality of life for our children and for ourselves. And we want to share what we have. We want to keep the beauty of what we have, but we want to be able to move forward because, in my way of thinking, and I think that's shared by a lot of people, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And we want to keep moving forward. Well, thank you, and thank you for what you do. You cover these things all the time, and we appreciate it, okay?
You know, this is a bridge a long time coming. It's something that's going to be a spectacular asset for people trying to get from Parrish over to Lakewood Ranch and Lakewood Ranch back to Parrish. It gives some relief to the interstate. gives hopefully some relief to the DeSoto and the Green Bridge, with a lot of these people coming out of the parish community and having to get downtown to get to work. And this is something that's just going to be an absolute spectacular addition to the county, I believe.
Correct?
There's no question about that. Transportation, comes before us in the commission meetings almost on a weekly or monthly basis, and it's something that traffic is a problem here in Manatee County with the growth that we've experienced, and we haven't always done a good job perhaps in keeping up with that infrastructure and providing those arteries and getting the people moved, and this is an example of one thing that will help it. And we've got other plans coming up. We've got the sales tax that came through that's going to allow us to redo a lot of the infrastructure that has gotten old over the years. And it's just something that's going to be a continuing challenge when you're getting 3,000 new residents a year into Manatee County. That you've got to make sure that they can get their cars out and in and get the people transported around, and hopefully we can start maybe at some point, have a more active transit system to get the people moving. And, but it's all good stuff. And I think, Manatee County's growing, and we're ready to keep the metal to the pedal, if you will. Well, as you said, just seeing the people that were here that helped us get it done gives an example of just how great this county works with its public officials, both from a local standpoint, state standpoint, and a federal standpoint. And you got to have that team to be able to get stuff like this done. And I think if we keep this team intact, we can continue to do great things in Manatee County. This is one example of that. You're going to see more of them coming out as we open up 44th Avenue here in the next couple months. These are things that have been a long time coming, and it's a team effort from all your different politicians and, of course, the staff in Manatee County and in other places, are the ones that really make it go.
Thank you.